Hello, students. So, we went through SDLC, which is essentially the blueprint of how you're designing an entire project. Now let's go a little bit deeper and let's design a blueprint for a specific program. Now, the way we're going to do that is with a flowchart. And to use a flowchart, I'm just going to use www.draw.io. This is a free flowchart software which I will just be able to either create a new diagram or open a new diagram. It's all cloud-based, so if you have a Google Drive account, you can just save these to your Google Drive. Or if you want to, you can save them to your device itself, your actual computer. So to use this, I'm just going to start a new diagram. I'm going to click there, start new diagram, and it'll give me, business, charts, engineering. We're just going to go with basic, and we're going to go with a blank diagram. Now it's going to ask me, what do I want to name this? Well, let's see here. This is week 4, I believe, in this assignment. So I'll just name this, week 4 sample diagram, whatever. And you'll notice it'll save it as an XML file. Okay? So I'm going to go and hit create. And boom, now I got this that pops up here. I've got my normal stuff, like seeing my size, which, I can go to 50, 125, whatever. I have, zooming in, zooming out. I've got undo, redo, delete. All your normal, typical stuff you'd wind up seeing in a program. Over here on the left-hand side, I have all the shapes. So I can put in squares. I can just click and drag. I can put in these, click and drag. I can just double-click, and it'll click it already. I got arrows. I can move those arrows around, move things to that. And of course, if I want to, I can just have it touch an object. And then, of course, I can have this touch an object as well. And now as I move the objects around, the arrow moves with me as well. It's the basis of how everything works in this. Also, of course, you'll notice there's a bright blue dot. There's a faded blue dot in the center. You can simply click and drag that, and it'll make an anchor point. It'll make a new point where you can move. And now you see, there's a point, but now there's 2 faded dots. I can simply keep clicking and dragging and making more corners to go around things if I ever need to. And if at any point in time, if you need to ever, put text on there, you could either go and type text, or you can simply double-click an item and type inside of it. And I can do the same thing with this line. Double-click, and that has to be the exact middle of it, because that's where it put the text. But I can just keep putting more text there, and it'll put text. Of course, you'll have other objects that you can load up, advanced, UML, data entry. We're generally just going to stick with general. At the same time, if I click an item, this area on the right-hand side pops up. I can change its color. Now it's blue, now it's green, now it's purple, now it's red, now it's yellow, now it's orange. I can change it from a normal line to now a normal line with a really thick border. Or now the border is now black. Or now the border is now going to be a dashed line. Now it's dashed, see? Doot, 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 doot. Of course, whatever I'm clicking, that's the object that I'm seeing. And I can change the text, change the font type. I can change, if it's underlined, italic, bolded, left aligned, center aligned, right aligned, middle, top, bottom, so on and so forth. And I can arrange things, so if I want things overlapping, I can say, oh no, this guy's going to the back. Now it's behind it. Now I'm going to hit to front. Now it's in front of it. So you can do all the sort of fun stuff that you can generally do in Illustrator or Photoshop, but it's basically just designed as an actual flowchart program. Now, when you're actually done with your program, you can simply go to File, and of course you can save it. And of course, if you want to, you can then import it from that, and we can import from your device or whatever, because it'll save it as an XML. But if you want to just, if you're finally done and you just want to send it off as a picture, I recommend using export. And you can export it as either a JPEG or a PDF. You can use PNG, but PNG is transparent. This background, this grid, is actually transparent. It's not white. So these lines would actually be quite hard to see because some computers actually use black as their default transparent color. So you'd be seeing a black line on a black background. So just to avoid that problem, because not every computer uses white as a transparent color if there's nothing in the transparency, we'll just save it as a JPEG or a PDF. So I'll just hit JPEG, and it'll ask me, oh, what do I want? Yeah, I want 100% zoom, selection only, whatever, and I'll just hit export. And it'll export, oh, where am I exporting it to? I can go to my Google Drive, my OneDrive, my Dropbox, my GitHub, my Trello, or my device. My device is physically my computer. So I'll just go to my computer, and it popped up down there. Of course, I have the screen a little bit off there, so now I'm opening it up. Oh, and look, there's actually the picture that I made of my glorious little flowchart. So using the program itself is very user-friendly. It's very intuitive. So we'll work on that. So now let's actually explain the assignment that you're actually going to do.